Looking to start an FM20 save with Leicester City and have absolutely no idea where to start? Well, this is the sort of content for you. Hello everyone, it is Toby from TIJ Gaming and welcome to my Football Manager 2020 team guide for Leicester City. A team that, it's fair to say, has probably the best chance of those outside the top six of breaking into that club of the top six. A very solid start for Leicester this year in real life. And looking at their squad, some real good names in that squad and a really strong squad. Just a few areas to build on, but a very, very strong squad. But don't worry, that's not the verdict. That's not it for today's team guide. In all of these team guides, I go through various parts of FM20 just to discuss what my plans would be if I was taking over Leicester, to try and help you guys who are taking over Leicester City out a little bit. And of course, if you are looking to take over any other team in the Premier League, make sure to check out the FM20 team guide playlist, as I have a team guide for every single Premier League team. Of course, if you're watching this straight away, Leicester is the 7th or 8th one, so it might take a little bit of time to get all of the team guides out. But firstly, we're going to have a quick look at the club vision, which is one of the new features for FM20. It's been in the game before, but not as formal as this. So the club culture, there's two little bits that the club is looking at. But luckily for you at Leicester, they're only really favoured things. So if you don't want to do these, luckily you have got an excuse to get out of them. And that is the first one, to play it is a favoured importance to play entertaining football. So again, football that regularly entertains the fans, and it's also favoured that you develop players using the club's youth system. But apart from that, nothing too tricky or complex in there. So as part of the 5-year plan, again, nothing too really complex, but what is required, one of two things that is required is to work within the wage budget. Again, that's not a surprise. It's the same for every single Premier League club. And yeah, that's not really a surprise. And there's plenty of wage to work with. To be fair, actually, there's only about £80,000 a week at the moment. But of course, if you do move the wage budget around a little bit, that can go up or down. So it should be fairly easy to work within that wage budget anyway. Another requirement this season is that the club finish in the top half of the Premier League. I've just discussed they've had a very good start to the Premier League in real life, and they've probably got the best chance of breaking into the top six. So I think if you've got anything about you, you should be able to get Leicester to finish in the top half, unless you have a real injury crisis. It's a solid squad with a lot of depth, and I don't think there's too much worry about that. And then the only other competition that seems to matter to the club is the FA Cup, and that you reach the 5th round. And from memory, is that the last 16? I think it's the last 16, isn't it? The 5th round. So you got first, yes, yeah, that was right. Well done me. Yeah, so it's the round of 16. That's not too complex considering you're going in the 3rd round. So you've only got to win 2 matches. The club are happy with that. And then the EFL Cup, it'd be nice if you get to the 4th round. Again, I think you only have to play 1 match to get to there, because the Premier League clubs, most of them anyway, coming in the 3rd round. So that shouldn't be too tricky. So really the obvious things that you've got to focus on the Premier League the most. End of next season, they want you to become recognised as the best of the rest, which is an interesting one actually. I haven't seen this in any other team guide so far, and it's a very interesting objective. Make sure the team becomes recognised as the best of the rest. Of course, the club won the Premier League. It's got to be quite a few years ago now. It's unbelievable how quick that time's gone. There's already been 3 seasons since they won the Premier League, and they've been in the top half twice, finished 12th the year after. But I think they want to just get some stability going now. Get back, recognised the best of the rest. That kind of Everton figure. Everton are starting to slip away. You've got teams like Wolves coming to the forefront as well. So Leicester clearly wants to be the best of the rest. And then what they want you to do in the future is to qualify for the Europa League. In a 4-year time frame, that is something that the club really want you to do, qualify for the Europa League. And then after that, continue qualifying for the Europa League. And of course, if you overachieve, say qualify for the Champions League, I'm sure those objectives will change. But I think in terms of a 5-year plan, nothing that's got too much pressure on you there. You've got plenty of time to work up to try and get into the top 6. Bear in mind, if you finish in the top 7, of course, and things go your way with the top clubs winning cup competitions, you might well qualify for the Europa League this season. And obviously, of course, if you win one of the cup competitions yourself, or get to the final and it works out that one of the top 6 wins in Europe, then you will get a automatic bye to the Europa League. So that is something that is fairly achievable this season. But let's have a quick look at the transfers in and out of Leicester. They've spent 86 million. Of course, the big departure we have to focus on first is Harry Maguire. He's gone to Manchester United for 80 million, leaving a big gap at the back of the park in defence. But they've brought in Yuri Tillemans, 40 million. I didn't realise it cost them that much, but 40 million Yuri Tillemans has cost Leicester. Solid player. Again, in a lot of FM videos, you will find that he's a wonder kid, and that's absolutely right. He's got a lot of long-term plans. That's a little bit worrying that he's got a preference to play for a lot of these big clubs, but hopefully you can turn Leicester into a big club yourself with some of the advice I'm going to give you today. Iosa Perez has also been signed up front for 20 million, another very good striker from Newcastle. He's a clear goal scorer but can play as an attacking midfielder, and that's really what you're looking at. Even though it does say he's a leading player for most championship sides, I think that's a little bit unfair because he is a solid player in the Premier League. We're probably looking to play him behind that striker, which is probably going to be Jamie Vardy, let's be honest. But yeah, you've got Perez, and they've also signed Dennis Praet from Sampdoria, again, another midfielder and attacking midfielder. Just a little bit more depth to the squad. James Justin, a young player who's coming from Luton Town, a breakthrough prospect, can play right or left back. So nice bit of depth there. Another player going out, Danny Simpson going out, but nothing apart from that is too key, to be honest. Adrian Silva has gone to Monaco on loan. I don't quite know what's happened there. He's only been at Leicester for 2 years and only played 14 games. He was out on loan at Monaco last year as well, so maybe the club have fell out with him, but not quite sure what is going on there. But certainly age not being on his side. But let's have a look at the tactic we've chosen next for Leicester, and it's a fluid counter-attack. I think that would probably be the best thing to do. Leicester were famous for that 4-4-2 under Ranieri, but I think now that's a little bit old-fashioned, and I think a 4-2-3-1 suits this squad really nicely, particularly from an attacking standpoint, with Jamie Vardy up front. Iosa Perez, I was talking about earlier, he's an attacking midfielder, but I think he really suits that shadow striker role well. Effectively, you've got two strikers. You've got Vardy as almost a false nine. You've got Perez as a shadow striker. So those two will be overlapping quite a bit. And then you've got your two wingers, Mark Albrighton and James Maddison, going to be very important to the squad. You've also got Damari Gray. You've got Harvey Barnes, a young prospect that's coming through there. So plenty of depth in the attack. And of course, you've also got Kelechi Iheanacho, who can come in as well. So plenty of depth there. A little bit concerned if you have a few injuries, but I don't think that should be much of a problem considering you're only playing one striker. You've really got Perez who can fill in for Vardy, as well as Iheanacho. So I don't think there's much of a problem there, and Damari Gray can also play up front with some decency. So I don't think there's too much problem with the up front position. In midfield, we've got the two new signings, Yuri Tillemans and Dennis Praet. They'll be two very important players for the squad. But again, a lot of depth in the midfield. You've got Mendy, you've got Amati, you've got Chowdhury, a young player as well. There's a good mix in this squad of young and ageing players, shall we say. But the ageing player thing isn't a problem. As you can obviously see with Vardy, he's still one of the main players at the club despite being at the age of 32. So age isn't really a problem in the Leicester squad. And in terms of the midfield, you've also got Wilfred Ndidi and Matty James. There's a little bit of cover there as well. So if we also look at the defence, we've got Pereira, we've got, who I can't pronounce his name, but yeah, I'm not even going to try. But he seems to be a very good replacement for Harry Maguire. Came in last year for 18.75 million, 23 years of age. There's still definitely a lot of time to improve. He's alongside Benkovic at the back. Two very young centre-backs, but two solid centre-backs with Johnny Evans on the bench and Wes Morgan. Some very good experience on the bench there. And right and left back, we've got Ricardo Pereira, again, a youngish player at the age of 25. And Ben Chilwell, one of the best prospects, I believe, in the Premier League. In fact, Liverpool did try to sign him, and as you can see, his potential ability is one that will definitely skyrocket. So a lot of good depth, a lot of exciting players in the squad. Christian Fuchs will be leaving the club at the end of the year on a free transfer. So one of the positions that's clearly going to be a bit of a problem is left back, because we have got James Justin, who's going to come through, that we talked about earlier, but he's primarily a right back we're looking at. And Mitch Clark, another left back, but again, not going to be the best player in the world, it doesn't seem. So we definitely need another, a natural left back, definitely in the squad, and probably another right back as well, just to cover for Pereira. Again, you've got Daniel Amati, not the best player in the world, but you know, half decent as a fringe player, a squad player there, and he can improve. And we've already talked about James Justin. So let's have a look at the dynamics of Leicester then, the hierarchy. Obviously, I was talking about Christian Fuchs before. Luckily, he's not a team leader, but the worrying thing is that all of these team leaders are, well, they're ageing. You've got Schmeichel and Vardy at the age of 32, and you've got Wes Morgan at the age of 35. Now, I think there will be some players that will come in as team leaders in the future. You like, so I think of Ben Chilwell, Yuri Tillemans, James Maddison as well. And of course, Johnny Evans has got plenty of experience, and he could probably move into that role for a few years. So a little bit of a worry with these players leaving. But really, in the next year or two, the only player I can see leaving out of those is Wes Morgan. Ultimately, he's not going to get a starting role with, him and Benkovic on the field. I mean, it says that Johnny Evans and Wes Morgan are actually better than these two, but I think you're better playing the youngsters, keep the older ones on the bench. If they kick up a fuss, that's a little bit of a problem from a dynamics point of view, but I think from a long-term point of view, playing those younger centre-backs is going to help you tenfold really over those older centre-backs, although they are very good backup if those players get injured, so a bit of assurance there. A little bit of a worry though with the team leaders. You'll have to see how that develops, but just make sure it goes smooth if possible. Don't get rid of two of them at the same time. Again, I can't see Vardy or Schmeichel going in the near future. And I think that there's a good spread, as it says, of leading influential players. A very good squad. Plenty of good personalities in there. And as you can see, there's a real big core social group at Leicester. So excellent dressing room atmosphere. Not much problem there. But as I have just said, we've got a few transfer suggestions for you guys. As you can see, our transfer budget's 30 million. Not looking to spend a lot of that. We've had a look at a few right and left backs that could come in as a bit of depth. Nobody's that going to really shock the system in terms of the team, but somebody to either sit on the bench or at least do a job. So firstly, we've got all these players that are on the transfer list. Again, it seems like it makes sense to go for players on the transfer list. Nobody's going to be too expensive. Again, they might not be in the transfer list in your game, but they are in mine, so that's why I've gone for them. So the first one at right back is Cuco Martin at the age of 29. Only 1.6 million. A lot of experience for Southampton, Everton. He didn't play at Stoke in Premier League, but still some experience for Premier League clubs and for other teams in the Eredivisie. So a very solid player, I think. Not going to challenge really big Ricardo Pereira, but he's still a solid player. He can play at right back. He's fairly versatile as well, which will help you out in the central defence. Adding a fifth centre back there, which will really make things a little bit more solid. If we compare Martina and Pereira, he's actually better than Pereira in his aerial stats, but he is behind Pereira, particularly in terms of his speed. So I think if you are playing Martina, it's a good point to probably keep him a little bit more defensive, because he's going to be beat on speed by wingers that are going to attack him. So keeping him back would be a good idea. But yeah, only 1.6 million, not a big risk. Second choice though, a little bit more expensive, is a player I recommended on my, I'm trying to think which team guide it was now. I've forgotten which one it was, but I've certainly recommended this player already, Kevin Milquid, and he's £10 million, played for Napoli for 2 years, including this one, but he's had experience at Saint Etienne, Lille and Monaco at the start of his career. And yeah, another solid player, 27 years of age, again, not really going to challenge Pereira. I mean, he's a little bit better than the other players we've just mentioned, Cuco, Martina, but you've got to look that Martina's got the experience in the league, and that's going to be important. Malquit's a bit of a better player, but again, comes at 5 times the price, so not really surprised there. So you can probably choose one of them, and I think either of those would be a good signing. And then secondly, on the left back, a bit of depth there as well. We've either got Marcel Schmelzer, again, a lot of experience for Dortmund. That'll be really invaluable for Leicester. An asking price of 5.5 million. Personally, even at the age of 31, I think that's a bit of a steal. I think that's a very good signing for Leicester, and to be honest, even for a bigger club, I don't know, like Liverpool or someone, I think I'd snap him up to sit on the bench behind Andy Robertson. But as you can see, Schmelzer, he's actually got some better attributes than Ben Chilwell. Of course, Ben Chilwell's going to improve into the future, and Schmelzer is going to decline. So that gap between the two players will become bigger. But Schmelzer's certainly not a bad backup option. And for the price of 5.5 million as well, not going to eat too much into your transfer budget. But a bit of a younger option as well. You've got Diego Rico. He signed for Bournemouth last year and for some reason has fell out of favour in game. And his asking price is similar to Marcel Schmelzer. Not quite got the experience that Schmelzer has got. But as you can see, Rico has got some better stats. Again, Schmelzer's a lot better at the kind of top stats, physical, mental and defending. But it's all about experience in the Premier League. And of course, you're going to get a lot more years out of Rico. Arguably could still improve at the age of 26. And from certainly looking at real life, he's been fairly solid at Bournemouth, in my opinion. And he shouldn't be too bad. Of course, he's been in England. He's got that fluent English. It all matters. So really, you've got the balance there. You've got the choice between either the English players that have played in England, not the English players, but the players that have played in the English League, and the players that are not domestic players. So finally, we're going to have a quick look at the development centre before we finish off. This is going to be a very important screen, particularly for Leicester, who wants to develop players using the youth system. Now, this is an important thing. If you look at this screen, you've got first team candidates. So all your players that are in your youth team that come into the first team. Bartosz Kaputza, I remember him from a few years ago from a FIFA save that somebody did. But he's out for 3 or 4 months. Again, he could provide a bit of depth in the attacking position. So again, a good youngster who can come in. I mean, he's not that young at the age of 22 now, but as you can see, there's ones to watch. You'll also have reports from your players out on loan. There's 11 players out on loan at the moment, and I think, yes, Leicester have got a really good squad. As you can see, it's a strong under-23 squad. A lot of players who've got a lot of potential, as you can see. So manage those well, send them out on loan when you need to, keep them in the squad, maybe play them in the likes of the EFL Cup. It's not going to be important, the EFL Cup, so maybe bring a few of those youngsters in, and I think you'll do a good job with Leicester. I don't think it's the trickiest job in the world. Not that much expectation. I think this squad could seriously overachieve like they did back with that title win. But that's going to be it for this team guide. I hope you guys have found it beneficial. If you have, of course, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts as well. And anything you want to add to the Leicester discussion. I'll add to the Leicester discussion as well if you guys want me to. But yeah, if you've got any signings, any stories you want to tell about your saves with Leicester, please leave them down in the comments. But for now, that's going to be it. Subscribe for daily FM20 beta content, including all the team guides from the Premier League teams, as well as my Liverpool beta save, which is going to be going on every day throughout the FM20 beta. But thank you very much for your company. I've been TIJ Gaming, and until the next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.